Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to, unpack the sources, cut through the noise, and really get to the heart of what you need to know. Today we're plunging into a topic that really hits home for a lot of creatives, I think, especially authors. Just imagine this. You pour absolutely everything, heart, soul, countless hours into writing your book. You polish it, obsess over it, finally hit publish, and then, well, nothing. Crickets, just that crushing silence. Author KJ puts it so well. She calls it that painful moment when your passion slams into the brick wall of the market. It really captures it, doesn't it?
It really does. A visceral image.
So our mission today is to explore a book that promises to be, well, a roadmap through this exact struggle. We're talking about Why Is Nobody Buying My Book by KJ. And our deep dive today is mostly drawing from a pretty comprehensive review over at Book Life. They give a great view into the core ideas.
Yeah, and this couldn't be more relevant, really. Whether you're an author who's felt that specific sting, maybe you're a creative trying to connect, or honestly, even if you're just curious about how, marketing smarts meet deep emotional understanding. Because what's compelling here, I think, is that it's not just another marketing tactics book. It's really about understanding the human stuff underneath. The things that drive connection and ultimately success. It sort of reframes the whole idea of putting your work out there.
Right. So let's unpack this. That core problem of KG zeroes in on the one so many indie authors know intimately. It's that feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pouring your soul into something and then meeting this wall of silence. Why isn't my book selling? It's a question that can seriously derail you creatively. It goes beyond just, low sales figures. It hits your self-worth, your sense of purpose.
Absolutely. And why is nobody buying my book? It doesn't just nod along in sympathy. It aims to provide a comprehensive answer. Book Life points out it's really a guide designed to give authors a fresh perspective, but also, crucially, concrete strategies. It's about shifting from that paralysis of why isn't this working to taking empowered action, helping authors, as they say, stand out and succeed in what is, let's face it, a very crowded market.
Okay, so this is where it starts getting really interesting, I think. One of the first big ideas the book brings up, and Book Life highlights this too, is something KJ calls the emotional economy of money. Now, this isn't just about picking a price, is it?
Oh, far from it. This concept is potentially a real game changer. KJ argues that a big reason readers might pause before buying isn't always the price itself. Often, she suggests, it actually stems from the author's own subconscious doubts about the book's value. Their own value, maybe.
Wow, okay, that's quite an idea.
It is, isn't it? It's pretty radical. If you don't genuinely believe in the worth of what you've created, that insecurity, however subtle, can actually put buyers off, even if your marketing looks great on the surface. So the price you're wrestling with isn't just dollars and cents, it's kind of your own belief in the work. And then the book gives you practical exercises, things you can actually do to build that confidence in your pricing and connect authentically, moving you from that fear around selling to feeling, genuinely empowered.
Okay, so if step one is really valuing your work deep down, the next logical step is, how do you actually communicate that value? How do you connect with readers on that deeper level? This leads to another really compelling part KJ introduces, NLP, the science of resonating with readers. Now, for listeners who might not know, what exactly is NLP bringing to the table here?
Right, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. It sounds maybe a bit technical, but it's not just jargon here. It's really about understanding how language, the words we choose, the patterns we use, deeply influences emotions and decisions. And KJ doesn't just define it. She shows authors how to apply it. Think about crafting your book title, your description, even the story itself to really tap into a reader's subconscious desires.
How does that work in practice, though?
Well, it could be about consciously using words and phrases that mirror how your target readers talk, maybe using vivid sensory language that pulls them in emotionally. The goal is to create this almost instant connection, making your book feel like it was practically written for them. She calls it mastering the art of mirroring your readers' desires. It builds that immediate rapport. And it does raise a fascinating question, doesn't it? How can language be more than just a tool for information? How can it actually be a bridge into someone else's feelings and understanding?
That is powerful stuff. And the book seems to take an even more introspective turn, maybe even a unique one for a marketing book, with a section called Healing for You and Your Readers. It suggests something quite profound about writing as therapy. How does that fit into a book about, selling books?
Yeah, it seems like the emotional heart of the strategy, almost. KJ's point, as I understand it from the review, is that the act of writing itself, especially when you dig into your own experiences and vulnerabilities, can be incredibly healing for the author. And here's the clever link. By embracing that vulnerability honestly, you can then inspire and potentially even help heal your readers. It forges this incredibly strong, authentic bond.
So vulnerability becomes a bridge, not a weakness.
Exactly. The book talks about building a bridge of authenticity and vulnerability. You definitely don't hear that in most marketing guides. It apparently includes things like journaling prompts and exercises to help authors process their own stuff, which in turn deepens their ability to connect truthfully with their readers. It's a very holistic view, acknowledging that the writer's own well-being is tied directly to their ability to connect and, yes, ultimately, to sell their work effectively.
So, okay, we've got these different threads. The emotional side of money, the language of NLP, this healing aspect. How does KJ weave these together into a single, unified strategy?
Well, this is where Book Life suggests the book really excels in what KJ terms the synergy of money, NLP, and healing. She essentially guides authors to align all these pieces, their pricing confidence, their messaging style, their emotional authenticity, into one cohesive sales approach. And what's really striking, according to the review, is how this completely reframes marketing. It stops being about, just pushing a product. It becomes about sharing your gift. That's the language used. The book then offers practical, actionable steps for building that loyal readership, turning casual readers into genuine fans, advocates even, moving beyond just one-off sales to build something much more meaningful and, frankly, more sustainable for the author long term.
Okay, so that's the core framework. Now, you might be wondering, what's the verdict from the wider world? Specifically, what did that Book Life review actually conclude?
Well, the Book Life review sounds overwhelmingly positive. It praises KJ for, and I quote, tapping directly into the anxieties of authors navigating the self-publishing process. That sounds spot on. And crucially, it highlights that she doesn't just diagnose the problem, she delivers a comprehensive guide that offers practical solutions. Solutions specifically for connecting with readers. It's not just theory, it sounds very actionable.
And something that really seems to boost the book's credibility, making it stand out, is KJ's own story, right? The Book Life review mentions she draws from her own experience self-publishing Diary of Clichés. How does that personal angle help?
Oh, massively, I think. It makes the whole thing incredibly believable. She's not just some theorist talking about the market. She's clearly been in it. The review says she details how her own hard-won lessons directly led to better sales and more readers for her own book. So it's not just, here's what might work, it's, here's what works for me and here's why. It's proven practice, backed by her journey. That gives a really solid foundation, especially for indie authors looking for advice they can trust. Book Life calls it an inspiring success story in itself.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. And beyond just the practical steps, the book seems to champion a really refreshing mindset. Book Life describes it as uplifting and empowering. It sounds like it pushes back against that scarcity mentality, that feeling that there are only so many readers to go around, or that you have to fight tooth and nail for every sale.
Exactly. It encourages authors to adopt more of an abundance mindset, to believe in the potential out there, believe that their unique voice will find its audience. Operate from generosity, not fear. Book Life even pulls out a quote from KJ reminding authors that your book has the power to make a difference in the world. Which is, let's be honest, a pretty vital message in a field that can feel quite demoralizing at times.
Absolutely. A necessary reminder.
It really is. And the beauty of this guide, as Book Life points out, is how it marries that powerful mindset shift with really specific practical tools. We're not just talking vague encouragement here. The review mentions actionable insights on everything from mastering storytelling and emotional anchoring, the things that make readers feel that connection,
right,
to crafting irresistible blurbs, figuring out the right price point that reflects value, designing an eye-catching cover, so important visually, and even brainstorming those provocative titles that make someone click. It's this combination, Book Life suggests, that makes the book not just inspiring, but also a genuinely valuable resource for authors wherever they are in their journey.
And just to underline the quality of the book itself, not just the content, Book Life actually gives it production grades, which is interesting. The cover got a B+ Aller, design and typography an A, editing an A, and marketing copy an A. Pretty high marks across the board.
Yeah, those are strong grades. It shows a real level of professional execution, doesn't it? It suggests KJ really walks the walk, applying these principles of quality and connection even to the presentation of her guide. It adds another layer of credibility.
Definitely.
So to boil down Book Life's final take, they call it a comprehensive self-publishing guide probing the core of reader connection. That phrase, core of reader connection seems key. And just for context, the review compares it to other well-regarded titles in the space, like Karen Hodges' Miller's How to Sell Your Book Today and Shonda Trophy's self-publishing success. So it's clearly positioning Why Is Nobody Buying My Book as a serious, valuable player in the self-publishing advice field, but one with perhaps a more unique blend of emotional depth and practical strategy.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, it really feels like Why Is Nobody Buying My Book by KJ offers something quite profound, a real shift in perspective for anyone trying to navigate that sometimes tricky creative market. It seems to move you beyond just sales tactics towards genuine connection, towards seeing your book not just as a product you need to sell, but as a gift you're putting out into the world. For indie authors feeling that frustration we talked about at the start, this sounds like it could be a really transformative read, changing not just maybe their sales numbers, but their whole approach to writing and reaching readers.
I think so too. And maybe it leaves us with a final thought to consider, something for you, the listener, to maybe mull over. What if the real measure of your book's success isn't only found in the sales figures? What if it's also about the authentic connections you build along the way, the personal growth you achieve as a creative, and the actual impact you have when you truly manage to share your gift? It encourages you to think about your own journey, perhaps, and how embracing that abundance mindset, combined with these kinds of insights, both strategic and emotional, might just unlock possibilities you hadn't even considered for yourself and your work.